Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're very well. I've got Scott on here, so how are you?
I'm very well, Daniel. Are you?
I'm very well. Coming off that draw against Burnley on Monday, we've got probably our toughest away game this season, to be fair, against Man City on Saturday. How are you feeling going into it?
Well, I think it's a degree of excitement. Probably just for obviously the name, the prestige. Just won the treble, just won the European Cup, Champions League. Probably the best team I've ever seen in the Premier League. Pep, arguably the best coach Premier League's ever seen. So you get excited, and I think it kind of dawns on you that I have to go toe to toe with probably the best football team in domestic football, as Steve Cooper sold it the other night. So it's going to be a really hard match, not incredibly hard, but it's the hope, isn't it? Really, kind of, can we pull something off? Can we get a point?
And Cooper said it in his press conference earlier that we got to have some belief going into it. So,
you can't just rock up and God, because if you rock up there thinking we're going to get a pace, I'm not going to bother, then you will get a pace. Then it'll probably be 20-30 if you went with that attitude. So, they've got to. They'll have to be well prepared. I mean, they'll have to be unbelievably well prepared to come away with, a respectable defeat. But if you catch Man City on a bad day, no matter how well you're playing, you could still come away with 5 or 6-0 hiding just because of how good they are. So it's going to be tough, but we lost, what was it, 5-1, 6-1 last season, 5-0, 6-0. So this year we've started well against the so-called bigger clubs. So I think progression can be measured by probably how many goals we concede perhaps tomorrow. So even if it was less than 6, and it was 4, then I'd even take that as some progress, to be honest.
Yeah, completely agree. And we have done quite well this season against the tougher opposition, especially away from home as well, because last season our away form was a big thing, but this season we came into it a lot more. You can tell we got that year experience on us now from last season. So like you said, if we keep it down, it's big up. But then, I mean, football's a funny game, as we know.
Yeah, and the progress has been really pleasing actually with the away form. So I think the biggest thing for me is that we don't look as starstruck as what we did last season when we were going to the big clubs. So I think, like you say, with that year's experience under the belt, that they haven't got that almost a brand new novelty factor like it was last year. I mean, I'm sure there'll still be a novelty factor because it's not every day that you go and play against one of the best teams in the world. But hopefully that will just steady things down a little bit. And then obviously with the reinforcements that we've brought in, it can change things around, and we're not going to be playing 4-2. What was it? 4-3-1.
4-3-3.
What was it in the week? 4-3-1-3. 4-3-1.
4-3-1-2.
4-2-1-3. Was it 4-2-1-3?
Yeah. Well, it could have been quite a few formations to be fair with who had on. It could have been a 4-2-3-1 or
4-2-1. What was it? 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
The way I'm counting, you can tell I don't very well at maths with a team of 12 players. But I can't see him. They're not going to do that. I think that was a bit of a novelty the other night. I've not seen a Forest team looking so, I think, well balanced in attack is what I'd probably call it. It was definitely daring. Say that you got 2 wingers of that quality, and Morgan Gibbs-White, just below Taiwo. Thought that was really kind of quite a bold move by Steve Cooper in the week, to be honest.
I would want to touch up about Mondays because when you look at it, when you had Ilango on one wing, we had Hudson Derry on another wing, then you got them two in the central walls. I mean, attacking wise, it had you on the edge of the seat, to be fair, which is quite nice to see, being a Forest fan, because you want to be on the edge of the seat near enough.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'd not been. That was the first game I've been to this season, and it just had a bit of a feel of that excitement of almost like a new team in pre-season, where you could see the quality of players that we've got, but it's just not, it's not clicked yet, and that's going to take some time. But I don't think Steve Cooper's probably played that attacking yet. I don't think he's had the players to be able to play with two, proper out and out wingers and a 10 in behind the striker. Obviously, we've had patches, but I don't think he's proper gone, as attacking as that. So I thought it was really exciting. I don't know how often he'll do that. I thought it was quite interesting to play Burnley in the cup, and it was a bit of a dour game. So I did think I did with preview at the time, saying I think that might be feeling each other out, and I think Cooper definitely changed it up, and we weren't going to play that way. We're going to play a different way. And I think if we got the goal first, I think it might have been a really different night. I think it was just one of those where we played quite well for the first 25 minutes, didn't get the goal. Then obviously they got a bit of a sucker punch at the other end, and it set us back a little bit. But yeah, I think if we got that early goal the other night, I think potentially we would have gone on to kind of win by a couple more goals more.
I mean, it was quite nice to see. I mean, I sort of made a bit of not a thingy about Sandro, because I don't, because he's as good as anything, but I made a bit of a comment on Monday after the game saying that I would have thrown Sandro straight into it. I would have kept with the tried and tested Mangala Yatesy, and when Yatesy came on, he did make that difference again, which is quite good. And I mean, you could tell with Mangala, I mean, bless him, he ran himself into the ground on Monday night.
Yeah, well, I suppose the things with Sangare that we've paid, what is he, club record? Him and Morgan Gibbs-White, similar kind of fee. So I think they're probably a little bit similar to Morgan Gibbs-White, kind of got chucked straight into it last time, and I think he made his debut against Spurs, I think it was. And we weren't sure whether he was going to go straight in. So yeah, maybe a little bit surprised, maybe a bit harsh on Yatesy after he played so well at Chelsea, but you're not going to get any attitude off Yatesy, because he'll just take it on the chin and roll his sleeves up, be ready to come on exactly like he did when he did come on and made a difference. But I think Sangare, he's not going to be wanting to start his first game at Man City away. So, in hindsight, I think he needed to get some minutes under his belt in preparation for Saturday, because that is going to be, if he thought welcome to the Premier League on, Monday night was probably more difficult than he might have envisaged against Burnley, but actually Man City away, he's going to need them minutes from Monday night to kind of have a proper go on Saturday, I would say. So I wouldn't say I was disappointed with him. I think there was definitely some flashes of this is what he's going to bring that our midfielders lacked. There was a couple of times where he nicked the ball from that winger. He was rapid. I mean, second half, he looked to break away again. He just had his legs just to, stick a toe out and get the ball. And he did it a few times. And, he's nowhere near up to speed at the minute. But once he does, I think he's going to be, a really good player.
I mean, the one person that impressed me, even though he not had the minutes that he has over the last 2 years or so, 3 years, it was Hudson-Odoi. I mean, he took his goal sublimely. He put that top corner, and you can tell now he got that goal. He's just going to get better and better over time now.
Yeah, I mean, the goal was just unbelievable, really. I mean, what a cracking finish. And this is what I mean about the excitement of what's to come, is that, I don't think Brennan Johnson scored a goal that was as good as that. And, that's expected, to Brennan, amazing. But, to say that's his first game, and he was, I think you could tell in his body language before that moment that, he looks like a player who's lost quite a bit of confidence, and perhaps just didn't have some of that belief. But, to say that, that's a player that's not played for a long time and struggled, he did a number of good things in the first half. There was a shot that I think if he got that chance, after he'd scored that goal, similar chance he had in the first half, that would have probably another one that went in the top corner. But it was a bit of a sight where he just wanted to get it on target, I think, more than anything. but obviously that second, the goal in the second half was just like, incredible. And I think he went a bit flat when he went off.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed when they took him off, but he hasn't played much football. So, but I think if we kept him on, I think, if anything, I think we were going to go on and win the game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I mean, with tomorrow, I mean, the Man City game, would you start watching the game? Would you be that advanced with them three? Or could you see being quite that bit more reserved with the formation?
Yeah, I would definitely think so. I mean, I don't think there was perhaps enough to see Hudson-Odoi kind of off the ball. What he's worked, that didn't come immediately to me, that he was going to be a hard-working winger, that was going to be back in the fullback up. I think he did his job, but I think with Hudson-Odoi, he's going to want the ball looking further. He just wants to get the ball and attack teams. That's where his qualities lie. Where I think maybe Elanga is probably, I don't know, looks like he can do the dirty side of the game a little bit better at the minute. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a similar team to what it was at Chelsea. I think with that setup, I think the fullback decisions. Doku is that how I pronounce his name? The winger, the new winger. I mean, he absolutely ripped Forest the new one in pre-season. So, and he looked amazing last week, and he just looks a really good player. So, I think Montiel up against him. Montiel really struggled with that pace of that winger. Was diving in and he getting skinned. And I think that is it Doku, but he just looked like a similar type of player who will do exactly the same. So it was no surprise when Aina kind of came across and sorted that problem out on Monday. So I would expect that Aina will play right back to make sure that that winger doesn't get the joy that the Burnley winger did the other night. And I think Tavares has looked. I've been quite impressed with him. What I've seen with him so far. So. I'd perhaps start him at left back in his natural position, and I think we need some pace at the back between the back two on Saturday. I don't think it's a game for McKenna and Worrell. I think Niakate needs to come back into the team just for a bit more athleticism, because they're going to be looking to get balls in behind, and that's an area that as a pairing they struggle with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Nuno just character to say the least. Both games I watched him against Chelsea and Burnley, just a character on the pitch. How he bombs on, even when he got that booking against Chelsea, I thought, and he tried denying it. So I think he's going to be, when he get that confidence back, I think he will be that sort of left back that we need. But it's nice to have them options now, right back and left back, where you can play Nico either side. And either side, you got Tavares that can play left back. You got Montreal who can play right back. They've got Ori coming back as well, and he can play right back or right side of centre back. So that full back, wing back position looks a lot more better than it did do last season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Aina, I've been so impressed with him, and I thought he was man of the match on Monday. I thought he played incredibly well, and he was almost, God, he was blown out of his arse for the last 20 minutes. He were knackered, and he managed to keep going. And he picked up a bit of a knock, but I thought he played really well. I think he's quite a footballer, a proper footballer, knows the game, knows how to read it. I think the only thing lacking with him at the minute is just probably quality on the ball in the final third.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. And you can tell he has that sort of footballing head on him, which not saying that we don't lack in that team, because more like defensively that we do lack that footballing head in there. So it's nice to have that sort of someone that can read the game as good as him.
Yeah, I think that'll be a bonus. So it'll be interesting Yeah, I mean, I've spoke the midfielder Yates. Will Yates get a start alongside Mangala, Sangare? I'm not sure. Will he go with 3? I would think that he would. Or will it be 5? A fat back 5, 3 in midfield, Gibbs, White, and another. Although I've been hearing a few things about, people rumbling about Morgan. Should he be dropped at the minute? I couldn't believe what I was reading. But I don't think his way form has been great actually for a while. So we'll have to see what Cooper decides, really.
Yeah, if one of them ones gets right, I know quite a few people have been saying he should be dropped, but I mean, it's one of them ones that it came out of Leon. Yeah, he probably didn't have his best game on Monday, but I mean, we all have bad games, and he's probably one of them ones that most of our team that been that used to like last season where we probably shut up shop quite a lot to get these players in now. Our game and how we play might change now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I mean, you definitely don't leave Morgan Gibbs White when you're playing at the City Ground. That's for sure. But I think there might be a case in, when we're going to, to Man City or something that we might need somebody a bit more defensively on the ball. I think probably my biggest criticism of Morgan away is just his use of the ball. He's so much better at home, but struggled, with the same impact away. But he's had a long summer, he has, and I think it's going to take him a few weeks to get back up to pace with it, and probably could do with another international break because he's played a lot of football.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, another thing that has popped up this week, it has been Steve Cooper been here 2 years now. I mean, first time a manager has been here at the club for 2 years since Billy Davies' first time, so it has been
Sorry, I was just I was trying to figure that out. Who's the last manager that we had?
Yeah, Billy Davies' first time.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, what an achievement. Yeah, just can't believe it, can you really? 2 years to achieve that in 2 years, to have gone from bottom of the Championship to 8th in the Premier League.
Yeah.
God knows how many players have gone through the door and how many millions have been spent, and we've been to the new Wembley for the first time and won a semi-final on penalties, and yeah, just incredible, really. That's but it's just great. You listen to him after the game, and yeah, he's spot on, isn't he? Just brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. Have you got a score prediction for Saturday?
No. I'll go with a respectable defeat.
Yeah, that's
I'm not going to say the score. A respectable defeat.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Do I say about your socials?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter on Munich and Madrid, or X, whatever it's called.
Yeah, on that. Yeah, it's that X factor. So thank you for coming on, as per usual.
No worries, my pleasure.
So I'd like to thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.